guys, Father Time here. Welcome aboard. I'm going to do another FSiPanel 2020 for Microsoft Flight Simulator profile because I love it. I'm going to do it in the Airbus A300-600, an airplane I actually have 5,000 hours in, albeit back from 1988 through 1992 and a little bit in 1997. Did my training over in Toulouse. This is about my 10th flight on this, 10th video. I've been doing some videos for FSiPanel. They didn't ask me to. I'm just doing it because I'm having a lot of fun. He's publishing some as examples. Hopefully this will be one of them. This is a brand new profile. You do this before you ever sign on to Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is why you're seeing that little line right there. You go here, scenarios. This is, like I said, the brand new. Go to Scenario Manager. I'll walk you through all this stuff in a little while. All the way down. Once again, this is what you do beforehand. A300, so that's generic. All the way to the bottom, JetBlue 1393 from Fort Lauderdale to Nassau. Level of difficulty is 2. It was created by none other than JP, who is I think the lone developer. I don't really know. He's guy's like right there for you on his Discord channel to respond. He's terrific. If you do a video that's great, he'll publish it for you as an example. It'll show up. I'll show you in a minute. So JetBlue, see how it would say YouTube tutorial. If there is one, you could watch it. You can open lesson plans and take a look, see if it's one that you want to do. We'll go back over that in just a moment. But right now you can see anything in green I've already downloaded. I've made some videos for these. Let's go ahead and download this scenario. It'll say its weather is loaded to your database. Weather preset installed in scenario is added to your database. You press OK. And now that's forever in green. And so you've downloaded that. You can close that out. We'll go ahead. You know what? While we're here, why don't we do this again? Why don't we go over and we'll download the flight plan just to get that downloaded ahead of time. And go down to JetBlue. You could open the lesson plan. We've showed you that. SimBrief flight plan. You have to know a few things when you review the lesson plan. You have to know departure and arrival runways and the altitude that you want to go at to get correct fuel burn. Fort Lauderdale to Nassau, JetBlue 1393, aircraft type. You can tell which one I've been flying the most. Airbus. I put in the fuel factor for the IniBuilds right there. Cost index as you wish. Let's see, alternates, runway. Arrival, 10 left is our departure runway, but they told us on the lesson plan we'll be going to 32. Find a new route. And it's supposed to be, the routing is supposed to be Snapper 2. We got this off the lesson plan. Ray J and Snapper 2, Ray J, there's no star. So that's all good. And the altitude they had us go at, wanted to be 17,000 feet. Once again, I got this all off the lesson plan, which we'll go through in a little while. And once you do that, you go generate flight. Add fuel if you want. I wish I had added fuel on my lesson that I did yesterday. Man, that was a tough one. RNAV go-arounds. It was crazy. Anyway, in edit flight, we're all good there. View PDF. So you get your flight plan, got your PDF, you've downloaded your stuff, and then you can close out the FSiPanel. I'm going to reboot it once we get power on the aircraft. And at this point, you start Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'll be right back. Goodbye, little lion. We'll see you next time. Okay, so as Microsoft Flight Simulator boots up, just wanted to show you a couple of things. So here we are. Our flight plan is going to be from Nassau, from Fort Lauderdale, down to Nassau with the alternate of Freeport. I don't know. I probably would add a little bit of fuel on board and make our alternate back to Miami or Fort Lauderdale with a lot more maintenance, a lot more options. Freeport's a funny alternate to have down in the Caribbean. American Airlines, I flew it a lot, probably would have had us do a return back to Miami. But we've got the correct routing in here, and it's at 17,000 feet. The cost index, all that is good. We'll come back to that in a minute. I want to go to the FSiPanel and show you the lesson plan right here. Runway 10 left. So I'd already reviewed this, obviously, in order to know what I knew for the flight plan. Position is F6. We're going to find that's a SOBO 128. If you have a scenery pack for Fort Lauderdale, you might have an F6. Otherwise, you'll have to do a SOBO. They give a little diagram down here to show you where the gate is. It's right here, so you can look on there and kind of get an idea, but it's a SOBO gate 128. I wrote that down. I write everything down, guys. Let me show you what I've done. This is JetBlue Flight 1393. I've never tried it before. What makes this one special, JP just put this in for FSiPanel. There's a decision point. You're actually going to have 3 options. We'll review those when you get to Nassau. Pretty cool. Never had that before. This FSiPanel, there's diversions, there's holding, there's medical emergencies, there's runway changes, there's go-rounds, there's all sorts of things that you can't get in like a VATSIM. Full ATC. I love this program. I think it's got tremendous potential for aspiring pilots or for sim guys, especially a content creator such as myself, albeit all new. By the way, I'm a retired airline captain with American Airlines, 36 years with American. I flew down this place a lot. We didn't go a lot to Nassau. That was smaller airplanes. I flew the A300 down there, 5,000 hours total, 21,000 total, but 5,000 in the airplane. Did my training in Toulouse. Anyway, enough about me. So there we go. 10 left. Gate 128, weather presets right here. You need to know those and write those down. Here's the clearance. I wrote that down. We're obviously missing a squawk in altitude. I wrote the weather down. We're missing an ATIS code and the runways transition level for Nassau. Procedure. You're going to start Microsoft Flight Simulator at Fort Lauderdale Gate F6. This is a Sobo Gate 128. If you don't have a scenery pack, set the weather to JetBlue 1393. That'll be loaded because we just loaded the scenery, right? That's why it's important to do that beforehand. Otherwise, it won't be there. The weather is very important, especially on a sortie such as this with the low pressure area, 2953, rain showers in the area, light rain in Nassau, heavy rain or moderate rain in Fort Lauderdale. It's going to be a weather flight to the short little flight in the Caribbean. Yeah, go to put yourself at the gate with that weather. Make sure the aircraft is powered, engine off. Start up FSiPanel. I usually wait till the pre-flight's done. Doesn't matter. Basically, on this airplane, we'll talk about it, but you're basically just doing communications pack. We're going to be at F6, as I mentioned, and we're going to push back facing west, and we're going to go out probably, it looks like it says initial taxi is going to be Tango 6, hold short of November, eventually out to runway 10 left. Tips for the scenario. So you can, this is going to be a timestamp video, 2-hour video for 40-minute flight. So there's a lot of instruction on FSiPanel pre-flight. I'm going to treat you as you're new on the airplane and you're new to FSiPanel. I'm going to timestamp it so you can bounce around. So right now, if you don't want any clues as to what's going to happen, bounce ahead to clearance or at the end of Origination Preflight, taxi, because I'll be done giving all my instruction at that point. But anyway, go ahead and bounce. All right, for the rest of us, tips for the scenario. Before diving into the scenario, please note that there are some key hints are provided below. However, if you prefer a completely unguided and surprise-filled experience, feel free to skip these tips. Nope, you're gonna use them. Snapper 2, the RNAV SID, initial altitude is 4,000. Expect some traffic during your climb. If you have traffic nearby, try to reduce your rate to 1,000 feet per minute. When around 2,000 feet below, you're cleared altitude to avoid any TCAS advisories or resolution. If you get a resolution, you're required to advisory. You don't have to do anything, but if you get an RA, you're going to respond to it and tell ATC you're responding to it. Plan your arrival. This is the cool part. I've never done this with them. I'm not even sure how you do it. Plan your arrival. As you can see on the ATC route, the last waypoint is Ray J. Nassau does not have a star, therefore knowing you will land on runway 32, you have 3 options after Ray J. Fly to Hidno, initial approach fix south of Cuddly. Fly to Zutun, initial approach fix north of Cuddly. Fly to Nassau VOR and expect vectors. Be proactive and select one of the options on your FMC to have an idea of the remaining track miles. Once in contact with Nassau approach, you will get further clearance and instructions for your approach. Land or go round. This scenario does not expect you to go round. If you decide to execute go round, this is probably the safest option, and you're 100% right on your decision. Just vector yourself around the place to come for another approach. No ATC providers until you touch down. We at American Airlines, we had this thing called no fault go around policy. If you go around, they were going to ask why, because they keep track of that stuff, but no one's at fault if you go around. If you land unstable, you get yourself in a lot of trouble with American and with the FAA. Rain showers in the area with low ceiling. One of my favorite weather settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you fly the scenario a dozen times, you'll never have the same visibility at minimums. If you're lucky to have clear skies and it is not your day, and if it's not your day, you will have a shower of right lane at the minimum, and you won't have enough visual to continue the approach. Okay. After landing, expect the taxi to stand C45, apron 1 via H2, Sobo Gate 10 if you want to prepare to stand with GSX. Wrote it all down. Wrote everything down. because I'm not going to be referring to a PDF en route. All right, so that's that. Let's do what they told us to do here. There's our flight plan. We'll minimize that, and I'll be right back. Let me center up this screen here. There you go. That's better. So we are JetBlue. We don't have a JetBlue paint job for the A300 that I'm aware of. So I've got as an Airbus paint job. We'll say it's a charter flight from Fort Lauderdale over to Nassau for JetBlue. So JetBlue has commissioned us to take baggage and excess passengers over to there. And it says Asobo Gate 128. I don't have a scenery pack. Asobo Gate 128, which is right there. I know because I just read the pre-brief. And then we got to go to the weather preset. You'll see all FSI weather from previous flights. Here they all are that I've flown. It's in there. JetBlue's, all the way down at the bottom. It's JetBlue 1393. I don't see it. Where is it? 13. JetBlue 1393. Where are you, little guy? Well, that's a little bit. Did I miss it? There it is. Guys, come on. Why don't you help me? All right, 1393. It says you can set the time whenever you want. I'm going to set it at 10 o'clock in the morning. Usually JP has you do that. If you want to do this a night flight, you can't. It's too scary for me. So there we go. We're at the gate 128 Asobo, which is gate for ATC would be gate stand F6. And we've got the correct weather set. Time of day is set. Now we're all set. And that's how you set it up. You go fly, and you start getting going. Let's take a look at FSiPanel right now. I want to just show you, or brief you on a couple of things while this boots up, okay? So once again, we're going to spend 15 minutes getting you set up. So if you're not new to the FSiPanel, go ahead and bounce up to clearance on the timestamp. So here we are, IniBuilds A300-600. Right now it doesn't know what airport we're at because it hasn't finished booting up. I want to go over some of the things. License information, troubleshooting. You can say this is the advanced edition, about $50. Best money I ever spent on Microsoft Flight Sim. There are options. What are these? Look at these distances. There's a lot of stuff on this option page. So train like a real pilot. That's what their motto is. FSiPanel, train like a real pilot. Well, in real pilots, we do about 4 to 6 hours in the simulator. Very expensive to operate those simulators. It's a mill as they rotate us through their recurring training. So they bounce us around in all sorts of positions, downwind, vectors, final, snapshots on final, all that stuff. I'm going to request refueling over here, guys. Request refueling. And let me go back to FSiPanel and spend a little time going over this. Get this guy to come in.
Refueling truck is on its way.
Yes, you are. You can actually define, let's say today I want to be on you got to be the engine's running on the runway to do this. And you got to go, let's say I want to do left vectors on a dog leg. Come in here, set up. You can do base vectors. How far out do you want to be? Let's be 6 miles out, and let's go to a final of 11 miles. Like that. Now when you go position, you get the engines running on the runway, and you go right here, you will meet those parameters, 6 miles and 11. On this page, let's take a look at this. Another thing, you can do a snapshot, or you can go on final, short final, what's short final, long final, all sorts of things. Database is good. Today's March 18th. Statute miles and pounds, we're using that. Make sure you select that. Over here, cockpit flows. This is relatively new. It's awesome. So this is a 2-person airplane. We're flying it as a single pilot, so it's always in the simulator a lot. What if you had a co-pilot? Well, this is going to get you there. Select button
Fuel
or keyboard
truck is in position.
to do that. We'll get the fuel and all that stuff in a minute. Now we're going to do it via the electronic flight bag. Cockpit flows. Select the button to do flows. I'm going to go ahead. Do you want to set a keyboard keys combination instead of a joystick? No, I'm going to set my joystick. And I'm going to go to my hostess, which I use for nose wheel steering. Best thing I ever did. I'm going to click my trigger, and whatever lights up, I click on that. So number 1 lit up, I clicked it. And this is what you'll get. Anytime you click that, you'll get any checklist. So before start, flow, after start, tact, and the co-pilot does it all for you. You got to double check it because it's not perfect. Airborne after takeoff, there's no climb, cruise, descent checklist, but the other ones where you're task saturated are available. Lineup flow, you can say I want landing lights off, packs off when you line up, on any particular flight. You want to be in flaps 15 or 1520 we use in the Airbus for shorter fields or obstacle clearances like St. Martin right after takeoff. So I'm going 1515 is my preset landing lights on packs when I line up. Pretty cool, huh? That's one of the places you can get a co-pilot. Let's go across now on the landing reports. After you land in, shut down at the gate, you'll get a landing report, tell you how bad your landing was. Mine are usually pretty bad. So Mad Dog. So there are 3 aircraft that are fully covered. They'll even load your FMC on some scenarios and your mode control panel, your glare shield control panel. They are the Leonardo Mad Dog, which I have done some videos on, PMDG 7-3 fleet. So what you can do is select what do you want for landing brakes, what do you want for landing flaps and all that stuff. PMDG, same thing, anything that you want. FMS entry speed, normal or fast, it's all sorts of things. Airport editor, and the last one is Phoenix, same thing, program that if you're flying one of those, whatever you want for your defaults. Fly-by-wire, I guess this is fly-by-wire and headwind A330. I guess they're fully covered, not in the scenarios, but that must be for pattern work. So those are probably some cool ones. You got the headwind A320, 330. You've got the fly-by-wire A320, Leonardo, PMDG 7-3 fleet in the Phoenix. All the others are here. These I consider to be kind of in the beta phase. They're going to probably bring them over here to bring them on the all-inclusive, but they're just trying to get them up to speed. Right now I'm doing the IniBuilds. JP, the owner of FSiPanel, did ask us, developer, to, if you did any scenarios, test it out, get back to them. So we're doing the process of testing these. But see, right here, I'm going to go, default auto brake is low in flaps 30-40. I could say medium, we'll put medium in there. And flaps 30-40. And after landing, after you retract the speed brakes, the after landing check will be done for you. And it's a beta MCD. You have to download that into your data. I don't even know how to do it, so I didn't do that yet, but that's coming. So these airplanes, if you fly these, they're going to end up being fully covered under this. And with those, you can do all sorts of failures. It's fantastic. If would have any kind of failure, it's not shown here because it knows we're presently in an A300-600. Scenarios. We went over this a little bit. Very first time you sign in, you're going to have the blank here. Auto-tune next frequency. In the spirit of having the FO do the checklist, we got the flows, we got the retractor speed brakes that we selected. That'll do after landing. The flows does checklist. Also, they will set the frequency for you. So after the first one I think I've got to select it. But after that first one, they'll tune it, but you got to click it over. It'll tune the next one for you. After about 5 seconds, be patient. They'll give you the frequency change. Don't worry if it doesn't show up. It'll come in about 5 seconds. Enable push to talk, just like VATSIM. Which button you want to use? I'll use my Boeing yoke, my mic button. Click it and click on the number 1 when I see it light up. Say again button comes in very handy. I'll use my hostage stick, and I'm going to go the F2 key. Click it, light it up. And there you go, hostage F2 key. Audio for ATC. I don't know why you just have text. I do know why you have only voice. That's the most realistic, right? And the voice and text is fantastic. You have voice and it will write it up there. Most realistic would be voice and the say again button, right? The least realistic but best for streams like this would be the voice and text. We're going to use that. And then that is pretty much my pre-brief on the FSiPanel. But we don't have power on the aircraft, so right now this shouldn't be open. We're going to close it out. We're going to get power on the aircraft. First thing we do when we come in the aircraft, right, is we review the logbook. So let's do that. I'm going to go to the IniBuilds. I'm not an expert on this, but I always start with the whole Origination Preflight. You can bump up once again to push back, and that's where I restart the FSiPanel and get, if you're not new to this airplane. Replace tires, brakes, service APUs. I reset the emergency slides, and the reason is I've had the emergency slide deployed on 3 different occasions once I pushed back. I couldn't get the slide to arm at 1L. When I went outside to look, the door was shut and the slide was hanging on the ramp. It's obviously something I'm doing. I don't know what it is. So I start off with the maintenance log. That all looks good. I'm going to go to the far left. I'm going to go My Flight, import from SynBrief. There it is, Fort Lauderdale to Nassau. Date's good. View operational flight plan. We could walk through that. not necessary right now. Checklist, and we're going to do the cockpit prep, all that. And then we'll come back after that. We'll do the weight and balance, and we're going to go import from SimBrief, update from SimBrief. There it is. Looks reasonable, and apply load. Now with the weather like it is, I probably would have used Miami as my alternate instead of Freeport, put a lot of extra fuel on. But we're going to have a little fun. So we got the fueling truck in place, right? And we're going to get power in the aircraft. We'll start boarding. I'm going to do a whole pre-flight, guys, so brace yourself. Get rid of the armrest. This is actually the style of the cockpit. See this grainy, these lines, exactly what the Airbus was when I picked it up. So I actually picked up a couple of these at the factory in Toulouse back in the early 90s. There we go. Circuit breakers are all in. I'll spare you the big airplane, small cockpit jokes. You got the flight engineer panel back here. There is no flight engineer. So evolution of this aircraft, as most of you know, this is basically a stretch A310. The A310 was a conversion of the A300, which is a three-person cockpit, to a two-person cockpit. They put most of the engineer panel there, automated, and a lot of it up here. That's why it's so gigantic. So this was kind of a generation removed in everything, but at the time it was state-of-the-art. At the time, back in 1983 when it first came in, it was off the charts, state-of-the-art. You got light bulb kit. This is windshield wiper fluid, which has been deactivated on all American airplanes. You have the pressure breathing equipment, which is the hood that you pull on. Make sure that's in the blue. Halon fire extinguisher. Make sure that's in the green. You've got the crash axe, electronic. You got the electronic flight bag on both sides. You've got the life vest behind the seats. You've got the CDL, configuration deviation list, any maintenance logs, and the spare pins are there, and you got the flashlight. This observer's audio panel, the fully functional audio panel for the observer. We call this the rack, as I've told you guys before, because you sat there after a couple of hours, you felt like you were in the rack. It was very, very uncomfortable. Very small cockpit for a very large airplane. With that out of the way, let's do the safety check inside the cockpit first. Coming up the middle, radar is off. You're about to put power in the aircraft, so you got to be very careful. The fuel control switches are cut off. Parking brake, I'm going to park it. I don't know if the chocks are in. Throttles are idle. Spoiler lever is down. Flaps are up. Gear handle is down. We've got the windshield wipers are off. And I'm going to turn on the lights, because when you put power in the aircraft, you're supposed to have on nav lights. So let's go back with that out of the way, go all the way to the overhead. And if you go to the up here and you go to the battery, you can see, this is kind of interesting. Why don't I show you that? There it is. You have, it's in the green band. It's about 28, and anywhere in there is fine. You turn on the batteries. You could check all three if you wanted. Once you do that, see how the amperage is discharging? That's because the battery is static converter is working. So go back to essential there. And with that out of the way, we see the external power. You don't have to check the volts and freaks. If you wanted to, you could, but that avail light means that it's volts and freaks are 115. I think it's plus or minus 5, and 410 plus or minus 15. Not positive about that. I know that 115 and 400 on the volts and freaks. And I usually leave this in emergency, but you don't have to check it because the avail light checks it. Turn it on. Got AC power, get the coffee going. Next thing guys always rush to do is turn on those 3 IRSs, and we turn off the HF on a short flight like this. We're not going to be needing them. Got a 10-minute line. If you want to know how long you have, you can go over to status, and that'll start counting down your time in just a moment. Let's go to the box. And one of the most irritating things is the number of messages that are here, but we're going to go menu, SimBrief, upload, IRS. And I'm going to clear out all this ridiculous stuff in here. Don't need to do anything else right now, guys. So I'm going to leave that, and we're going to go to GSX, and we're going to request boarding.
Boarding requested.
Yeah, let's get on the way. This JetBlue flight 1393 to Nassau on a charter flight at a Southwest gate. We give you variety here at Father Time. Once again, wouldn't mind if you subscribed. It would help me out a lot. Trying to build a followership. I think as of this morning we had like 1885. It's a special year. I don't know what that is. Open forward cargo, now they'll do that. All right, so we're going to do 5 columns on the overhead. Once again, I pretend that you don't know FSiPanel. Here you go, status 4 minutes to go. And that you don't know yeah, get everyone on board. Let's roll.
Boarding starting.
And you don't know the A300. So I'm going to give you a little bit of the overhead. I'm not the expert. Flight recorder, we turn that on at American Airlines. And the reason we turn it on is that it won't start until the fuel levers broke up, yet the voice recorder is required to be on for the pre-flight. This turns on the voice recorder. And so you need to have that on for the pre-flight. So other aircraft, the voice recorder goes when you power on, 30-minute cycle. Airbus, you had to turn on the flight recorder, otherwise it wouldn't start until the fuel lever was up, and the FAA required that it was on for pre-flight. So that's why we turned that on. Little known fact, probably not in any other video.
Crew boarding starting.
Low pressure lights, that's normal. Blue, green, yellow hydraulics, all green band. We're going to go bright there. Dome light we don't need. I'm going to turn on the no smoking sign. The transfer lights were all out. There is a reset button here if you had any call lights on. All the way up top. We talked about the electrical panel. I'm going to go ahead and test all this. There's a squib test. I don't know if anything happens down here. Nope, you don't get anything on that one. Back to the overhead. And I'm going to go to fire test. Loop A. Loop B. You think of what I'm thinking? You got engine fire, punch off the master warning, and you're going to see this go to fault on A, fault off, fault B, and at that point, it turns. Now, before the passengers get on, I'm going to do something a little bit out of sequence. I'm going to test the APU. It takes sometimes up to 30 minutes to cool it off. It is 27 Celsius, which is 81 Fahrenheit. APU, there you go, fault. Keep holding it. When the second loop illuminates, you get the fire. Punch this button, and it's going to go back to fault off, fault A off, fault B off, and the light goes off. And now we can start the APU. If you don't have AC power, you're going to turn on the fuel pump, DC fuel pump. But with AC power, you just turn on the intertank pump number 2, and you can start it up, start it. Like I said, we would have closed the windows, cooled it off early. I'll get the APU bleed on. It'll come on 1 minute after start and start cooling off the cabin. Let's see what the cabin is at right now. Cabin temperature. Definitely don't want to overheat these guys. Go aft cabin here. Cabin. Yeah, it's up around 28 Celsius. What is that? That's about 83 degrees. So we probably would delay boarding till we cooled it down, got it in the 70s. That's a duct temperature, the feed. You can tell it's coming up. Once you put that on a test there, by the way, I want to show you something here. Just a little known fact. If you come here and you see this, one of these, that's not an inoperative trim. This is a trim valve right there. That's the duct air coming in. That's the actual temperature of the cabin. Instead, what you probably do is you have this switch out of the descent, put it in the CRT, and you'll see it's no longer. That's another place, another little fact you probably don't get anywhere else. All right, so we've got the APU tested, number 1, little out of sequence. Electrical panels all checked. IDG, this is an integrated drive generator. If you get a light here, it's due to low oil pressure, high oil temperature. Once you disconnect it, maintenance has to reconnect it. Yaw dampers are on, auto throttles are off. We didn't turn on the auto throttles until we took the runway at American, because we had an aircraft go off the runway by bringing the power up and accidentally hitting toga. That guy had to go back for training. While it's aligning, you're not going to be able to get the pitch trims on, but there's only 1 minute. They might work. Let me see. Sometimes when it gets into that last minute, they do stay on. And with that, you'll get the flight directors on, so it did stay on. We've got all the lights off except for the nav lights. They're on. This is a standby. This is the voice recorder. Voice recorder. There it is. It's bumped in the green band. 4 bumps for 4 channels. That's why we have the flight recorder on. This has to be running for pre-flight. This is the secondary gear indicator. Remember, if you get a faulty gear up here, as long as this one's okay, you have to have both of them saying faulty. If this one's okay, then you can proceed as if it's okay. This is VHF number 3, fully functional radio head that you can, but primarily used for ACARS. It'll say data in this window. Back then, to be honest with you, we used to put in the manually tune the ACARS frequency, but most modern airplanes will say data. You twist this around, eventually it gets data, you select it. And that's it. APU, we tested it. Fuel panel's good. Pumps are off except for that one's on for the APU. Fueling's complete. Wipers are off. Back up here. One more, let's see, cockpit door. This is the vent, overboard exhaust valve. We use this for overboard exhaust valve for smoke elimination, equipment cooling. Follow the checklist. Right now there should be no lights on, and the exhaust valve is actually open right now because there's no cooling air available. The one more fire test to go. Squibs are good. Get 1 and 2. 1. Keep holding it. 2. Fire light. Punch that to turn it off. Master warning. Back up here. Lights go up. Out. Loop B. Loop B. And then the lights go out. Oxygen supply. You can see it says off. Turn it on. It pops in the green band. 1100 psi at 70 degrees bottle temperature. How you know that is beyond me. And manual override. This is a cargo compartment. No lights are on. Probe heats after engine start. Window heats now. If you're in manual by accident, you'll notice the lights go off on the auto. Turn it back to auto. You see that it's light. System 1 is selected. Usually, most airlines, where the captain's flying, it's number 1. FO's flying number 2. The second system's in standby. That way, both systems are checked every other flight. I'm going to fly, so we'll go number 1. Some airlines, it's odd number flight. Some airlines, it's leaving your home base. But anyway, it's not in manual. Select one of those. Pack control, everything is normal. Lights are out. We talked about this panel. Econ flow. If you fly with that on, you'll save 1%. So we always flew with that on. 1%. If you fly with it off, it's on 1% more fuel burn. So we always put econ flow. When there was smoking on the airplanes, oh man, you had to keep that thing on. Off rather, to keep the smoke clear. Emergency light is armed. Test. Check all the light bulbs. You see any partition. There's 4 little light bulbs in each one of these. Sometimes you'll see a little bit dim over here. That means one of the little light bulbs is burnt out. Little light bulb spare kits behind you, but we called maintenance to replace them. They're very, very delicate. It's really easy to break them. There are little prongs in there, so they didn't want us changing them ourselves, although it wasn't rocket science to change the light bulb. Okay, we're going to come across the top in a minute. Captain checks our oxygen by pressing the flow. Check for a little yellow light there. Put the mask on, check your mic. I'm going to turn on the lighting. Going to be thunderstorms everywhere. Console, put that on too. All right, we'll do the weight and balance here in a minute. Just wanted to these field elevations 10 feet. So I'm going to go to boarding's complete. That's nice. A10. I'm going to set the altimeter. Altimeter is supposed to be 2953. 2953 is set. Once, twice, 3 times. Looks good. A10's engine out. No unwanted flags. Headings are cross-checked all the way around, including the standby compass. I'm going to turn on the standby attitude, gauge the standby attitude indicator. Flap slack gauge, match the handle. You have the auto brakes, anti-skid is normal. Remember that, that's part of the checklist. No auto brake selected right now. Come through here. We'll get these in just a second. Landing gear test. There we go. System test good. Gear handles down. We're going to go down on the spoilers down, reversers down, throttles are idle, flap lever is up. Fuel control switch is cut off. Parking brake is parked so they can remove the chocks. Coming down the middle. Rudder trim is 0. Aileron trim is 0. Match it with the top of the yoke. And elevator trim is 0. And what you're going to do is you cross-check that outside with the tail. I think we leave it 3 degrees nose up normally. That's not the case here. And the radar is off. All right, let's go to the box. And you know what I'm going to do while we're doing this, guys, just for expedition's sake, I'm going to go prepare for pushback and departure so we can move this project along. So continuing the pre-flight, we're going to fill these all in. Let me get the data that we need here. Call that up, move it over. Cost index is 50.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
No need to answer them. I know that's rude. We would answer them, right? JetBlue 1393. No, anywhere in here, guys, you could start up FSiPanel. As soon as you put power on the airplane, you'd want to do that if you're on the PMDG 73 or the Airbus, the Phoenix, or even the Mad Dog some places, because it'd do all this for you.
Bypass pin inserted.
All right, so taxi fuel, we get that off the plan, and you can see taxi fuel is 2.2, 2.2, 2.2. Block fuel, we needed 22 even. We got 22 even. Zero fuel weight is 245.5, 245.5. Hope you don't mind me taking you along for the ride, because I think it's important to FSiPanel briefs available for you. It's kind of an all-inclusive, and a little Airbus training too if you're new on it, like I kind of am. 28 even, 28 here. I'll come back to the pushback. 28 and 17's in there. That's all good, and there it populates the alternate fuel and everything. So that's all good. We're going to go to the flight plan. We're going to go to Fort Lauderdale. We're going to fly, let's see, the Snapper 2 off runway 10 left. Snapper 2. We'll take a look at this in a minute. Oh, Snapper 2, and we're going to go to Ray J. And after Ray J, insert that, it's direct to Nassau. So I'm going to put in Ray J. I think it's just radar vectors after Ray J. But we'll go this. We'll go Ray J, star, runway 32. You can see have a VOR, have an RNAV. We'll try to fly the VOR in this thing. It's never interesting, always interesting. So remember, it gives you options. We'll go up, we'll say Hidno. We'll take a look at it in a second here. Right, Hidno and star none. When you do that, hit insert. All right, that's important. You go star none. So we go through the flight plan. We check it in plan mode. First thing we do, right, is we go get the database. Aircraft status. Today's 18 March, so database is good. Otherwise, we could switch them around, select it, move it up. Then we go to init. 1, 2, everything's filled out. We're doing this together, all right, together. No lone rangers here. And then we're going to walk through the flight plan, checking for discontinuities. We'll review the flight plan in a minute. Is Ray J and ILS to Hidno. We'll see what they give us in a minute. And then we check the prog, and we check that against the distance on here is 187. This says 184. Just check it. If it was 500 or 300, you definitely know something was wrong. Probably had a duplication in the list, and that's good enough for now. All right, so the box is almost loaded, right? You guys know what I'm forgetting. Not forgetting, but it's time to do it. We need to do weight and balance. Performance. Just cycle that. We're going to go 10 left. 10 left and sync. And let me make sure this is correct. This is Fort Lauderdale. The wind's at 280 at 6. I don't know about that. Didn't sync real well. Altimeter's not right either. 280 at 06. Public typing, always intervention. 280 at 06. Temperature is 28, kind of destroys your faith in sinking. 28. Altimeter is really low. It is 2953, 2953, and 2953. All right, and the weight, takeoff weight, 265.3, and this is nope, that's not right either. So 265.3, 265, 290. Let's be precise. Flaps 15, no need for any ice today. We're real warm. And calculate. If you're not getting a flex temp on a long runway, you probably have in the wrong altimeter. Like you'll have in a 1012. Use inches. So 2953. And you see there's not a decimal point. You got to do that from your keyboard. Just a little Airbus fun fact. All right, 63, 40, 40, 42. 63 and 0 on the trim. 63, 40, 40, 42. 63, 40, 40, 42. 63, 40. And we go to flex temp. 63. We're light and long runway. 63, looking for 97.9, flex temp, and we're going to go 42. I think I'm going to use my Logitech. This thing's very sensitive, 42. I'm going to preset whatever climb speed I want to go to. Oh, sorry about that. Don't know why I did that. Oh, I know why. I don't have an altitude in yet. So I'm going to put in 5,000. We'll check the SID in a second. Now I can preset. See, at Father Timeville, we give you guys all the little tricks. My presentations aren't the best for immersion, but they're pretty good instruction. So I'm going to go to Navigraph here. I'm going to unload it. That was my last flight. Import flight from SimBrief. Fort Lauderdale to Nassau. There we go. I'm going to go here. Go taxi. I'm going to get the runway heading off here. 10 left. 096. And we're doing the Snapper 2. So take a look at that. SID. Snapper 2. Always start up here for anything we need. There's your departure freaks, everything radar required, jet, Ray J, traffic below 23, yep, okay, all good. 250, 4,000 is the altitude. 4,000 on the SID. 4,000, back to the departure. Okay, so it's going to be runway 10 left. Climb any 096 heading, then climb direct to Mr. Lee. Then on track 097 is really. So here we are. We're taking off. Flying east, short flight plan. 10 left. Mr. Lee, relays, zombie. We'd actually check that against the box. Mr. Lee, relay, zombie, and 17,000. And there's no altitudes that I see on there. That's pretty straightforward. And then Snapper, Craft, Heyday. Snapper, Craft, Heyday, Ray J. And then we have to decide what we want to do after that. Don't really know how it works, Hindo. Let's take a look on these short flights. We almost always review everything on the ground. We just do, because you don't have time when you get airborne. So we're going to do no arrival. We're going to do the approach. RNAV to runway 32. There it is. Where do you want to go, right? So if you're going to go to runway 32, we're coming in. We can go overhead and get vectors. We are coming in Ray J right here. We can go Hidno south Zuten up here. What are we doing? We are going, I think we'll go, we're coming in kind of from the south. I think I'm going to clear the discontinuity. If they don't care, Ray J, direct hid no. That's what we'll plan on doing. All right? Ray J, direct hid no. So that's my plan. And how about after landing? Let's figure that out so we know what's going on. Airport man's parking gates. Instead, we're going to go to gate C45. C45 is way out here in the end, Pier C. So runway 32, right-hand turn off. Let's take a look at that. 32, 10,000 foot of runway. And we're going to go to C2, which is up here, apron 2. Apron 1. Apron 1 up here. Via H2 Asobo Gate 10. C40, I've taken this off the briefing, right? C45. Actually, it's C45. I'm sorry, guys. C45. So it's apron 1, C45 right there. And we'd want to make sure we had the correct RAM frequencies on the aprons. It says apron 1, but I think it's really apron 2, if I'm not mistaken. So the lesson plan said apron 1. I think it's apron 2. Anyway, hey, I want to see something new? Look at this. So let's say we get off at where we realistically can. This just came out today, by the way. Let's say we get off at, realistically, we'll probably get off at Echo. We'll plan on that, all right? So we're going to get off at Echo. Gonna put a little marker. Haha! How do you like that? Echo. Little marker. Probably come up this way. What do you think of that? Pretty cool, right? All right, so let's minimize that. And yeah, so anywhere where we got power on the aircraft, we could have called them. Let's go outside. I do this before I do anything else. I just have had too many problems. We'll go outside. Everything's pulled back. Look at that beautiful IniBuilds paint job. Tug's all hooked up. So we're going to push back. And it said taxi's going to be face west, nose left, Tango 6, hold short of November. Tango 6, and this is November. So we're going to hold short right here. How's that? Wouldn't that be nice, huh? We had that in the airplane. Get my drone back in position. I love this stuff. So much fun. Okay, enough of that nonsense. Back inside. Back here, let's go to our ground equipment. Ground power unit is... Oh, let me deselect. Before I do that, deselect external power, right? And come back over. And I'm going to get the chocks out. All good there. Arm all doors. Nope, we're all set. All good. Okay, and if you wanted to use Navigraph, you could. I've got my own chart, so I'm not gonna get that ready to go. Nice feature though on this airplane. Okay, so let's do our magic. FSiPanel. Hello, little lion. How you doing, buddy? Trained like real pilots. I'll tell you, I love this app. I just freaking love it. I'm sorry for the language. Fort Lauderdale, runway 28. No, runway 10. And A300 knows where we are. Airline flights. JetBlue, select it. That opens to start training. Start training. So I've given you a full FSiPanel instruction. Go to his website, join their Discord. It's a great community. And this guy's awesome. He'll help you out a lot. And great training. And I know because I do this stuff for a living. I did now I do this for a living and harass my wife. JetBlue 1393 scenario starts now. Contact delivery. ATIS available on always 2345 on FSiPanel. It's always 2345. The rest of the freaks are same as the chart, but this is 2345. Acknowledge. Let's go down to the flight attendants are ready. Come back in here. Get this set at 2345. I can probably get a much better angle than that, right? Let's go in. You guys can watch me flail. 2345. Don't mind me going the wrong way around. I've long since given up on that. Let me see. 2345. I'm setting it with my Logitech panel. I got to get something different. These are great, but guys, all you use those minis, those decks, stream decks, 2345, and over here it's going to be 21.5. Truth is, we push back with ramp over on this side usually, monitoring ground, but we're not going to do that. Here we go. Copy the ATIS.
Dew point 17, altimeter 2953. Showers in the vicinity. Acknowledge received Fort Lauderdale Air. This is Fort Lauderdale Airport information Juliet. Runway in use 10 left and 10 right. Surface wind 280 degrees at 7 knots. Visibility 10. Cloud scattered 3,500 feet. Scattered 8,000 feet. Temperature 28. Dew point 17. Altimeter 2953. Showers in the vicinity. Acknowledge received Fort Lauderdale Airport information Juliet on first contact.
Back to guard. All right, so we're going to contact clearance. I'll get rid of this. And I'm going to put the say again button on. Crack brakes are set. Say again button on because I want to get that up here. Just go to, this should be in map mode, right? Get the ATIS, contact apron. Ramp is 29,875. 28.28, 28.4. JetBlue 1393, gate Foxtrot 6, request clearance.
JetBlue 1393, delivery yellow. You're clear to Nassau as fine. Runway 10 left. Snapper 2 departure. Rajai transition. Climb initially 4,000 feet. Expect 17,000. 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 3215 and your departure frequency 128.6.
All right. JetBlue 1393, clear to Nassau as filed. Runway 10 left. Snapper 2 departure, Ray J transition. Climbed up 4,000 initially. Expect 17,000. 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 3215. Departure frequency 128.6.
JetBlue 1393, readback is correct. When ready, contact ramp 129.875. Have a nice day.
Okay, ramp on 29,875 when ready for JetBlue 1393. Thanks, you too. All right, so squawking, clearance 3215. 3215. See if I can get this set right, guys. I'm gonna go a long way around. Oh man, public manipulation of the controls. Always embarrassing. Yeah, I just faster for me to just go this side. 3215 TARA. Okay, let's go ahead. 3215 and basically clear it as filed. 4,000's in the window. Altimeter sets. We got the ATIS. Just getting ready to push back with ramp. We talked about how we're going to get out of here. and let's get out of here. So we've got everything boarded. Let me go GSX. Continue pushback. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go before start checklist. I'm going to look up here. They're going to get all the fuel pumps on for me. The beacons are on. Everything looks good. Let's go to the electronic flight bag before we call them. I just want to check the checklist, guys. I know they did everything for me, but I like to double check it. Cockpit fuel quantity up, takeoff data set, landing elevation is set at 0. Altimeters, we checked that. Anti-skid is normal on. Windows closed and locked, beacons are on. We did that. Parking brake is required. After start, Okay, so we're good. All right. And it's cold ramp. Fort Lauderdale ramp, JetBlue 1393, like to push back off Foxtrot 6.
JetBlue 1393 ramp, hello. Your push and start is approved, facing west and for taxi contact ground. Frequency 121.4. Have a nice day.
JetBlue 1393, push and start approved, face west, and we'll call 21-4 for taxi. See ya. So they should have that 21-4. There it goes. It takes a few seconds, guys, to go in. So let's go back to our GSX friends. Continue the push back. Nose left.
Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, start at will. Lower overhead. Watch this pressure. It's not accurate. It should be 25. But we're going to go crank A. This captain's flying. FO's flying. We usually go crank B. That's how we do it. And then we're going to go start valve open. Start valves open. Usually the pressure is a minimum of 25. Doesn't show up. So that's kind of a not modeled correctly. Once again, I do this every flight, but I act like you haven't been on this airplane before. We're going to go 2468. I have like 10,000 hours in this engine, the CF6-80s, which we had on our A300s, and we have in this model here in the IniBuilds. They also had them on the 76300, which I have 5,000 hours, and 7675, and in the MD-11, which I have 2,000 hours. There we go. So I have a lot of time in it. They're all the same. 2468, around 20%, around 400 plus minus, and around 60. If you see anything other than that, you might, if you saw 35, either your throttle's up out of the idle detent, or you might be stuck in flight idle. You got to shut it down and have it checked out. So we go 2468, and the 8 is the oil. We look for the oil gulp. Yeah, over here, which comes down a couple of quarts, which actually just did there a little bit. So 2468 looks good. That engine started. We're above 10, so we don't need engine ice. And 45% the start valve closed. Starting number 2. Start valves open. Set the parking brake.
Waiting your confirmations for a good engine start.
I'm going to tell them we get a good one.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
All right, so we're looking for max motoring here, about 20%. There we go. Fuel lever's on. A little bit of lag there. We should have, let's check for oil pressure rise before we ever brought the throttle up. You don't bring the fuel cutoff switch up. And at 45%, here we are passing 37, 38, 39, 45%, the start valve closes.
Unlocking gear.
Right about there. Start valve closes. All right, 2, C2, 4, 6, and the oil gulped. So that's all good. And we can do the after start checklist. What's this?
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Come up here.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
After start. Well, after start, it should turn on the probe heat. It's not going to, so we'll have to do that. But it shut down the APU, shut down the APU air. Right, got all that done, and it even lowered the flaps to 15. So we can go to flight control page when they're, let's get rid of them first. Let's go outside. There they are waiting for us. I'm going to get this drone in position. She's waiting for us to flash our light. There's a little shaker pudding. I was shaking my head. Didn't mean to do that. Lower overhead. Come up here and flash my, see the, I'm going to put the strobe up to auto and flash my taxi light. And they leave. All right, let's do the before takeoff check. And I'm going to go flight controls. Hold on to nose wheel steering. I'm checking the rudders. The FO usually checks the tops, at least in my airline. Slow movements. You don't want to bang them around out there. Passengers can actually hear it moving out there if you're not careful. See how that vision changed a little bit when I moved the yoke? That's my yoke calibration. I'll probably relook at that. All right, so we clear left, clear right. I have a salute. All looks good. And we say Nassau ground, JetBlue, I'm sorry, Fort Lauderdale ground, JetBlue 1393, taxi off F6.
JetBlue 1393, taxi Tango 6, hold short November.
Tango 6, hold short November for JetBlue 1393. So we are right here. We push, that's Nassau, right? Let's go here. We're not in a hurry here at Father Timeville. Get Tango 6, hold short of November. It's going to be kind of confusing getting out there. Going to have to pay attention here. Okay, let's go. Park brakes are off. Put my pen down. Taxi light is on. And let's go. On our way to Nassau. I guess I was already in Nassau when I made my taxi call, huh? I checked the nose wheel steering. A lot of guys check the brakes initially. It looks good. Off we go. Now, it said rain showers here. I don't really see any rain showers. And we do have that, the proper weather set. See what it's like in Nassau. I know in the description, it's interesting. It says, yeah, it can be either one. You can end up getting there and it's clear, or you get there and it's not clear. You have to go around. Once you go around an FSiPanel, you're usually on your own. Getting a pilot to go around.
JetBlue 1393, continue taxi ordering point Bravo 1, runway 10 left, via November, Quebec, and Bravo.
November, Quebec, Bravo to holding point Bravo 110 left for JetBlue 1393. All right, guys, I'm going to stop the airplane. November, correct, Quebec, Bravo, because we really didn't go over how to get there. So I'm going to go here. Anytime you stop the airplane, park the brakes. Learned that a long time ago. November, Quebec, Bravo. Watch this. So here we are, right? We're going to use our little handy dandy. Is that it right there? Where is the little thing? All right, November, correct, Quebec, Bravo. So basically, this is November, and it turns into a right on Quebec, slight right on Quebec, and then Bravo going out to 10 left. I wanted to find that little tool that you can write on, right with. I guess it's not available here. Oh, here it is. Watch this. Look at this. November, Quebec, Bravo. You gotta love it, baby. I don't know. I love gadgets, you know. Just do. All right, so here we go. Parking brakes are off. Naturally, I would have told them if we were delaying there. Let's get ourselves moving. It's November up here. That's Quebec. And then Bravo. All right, full disclosure, we're on Lima. Don't do that. So we should be one taxiway over, back that way. And then Bravo is our second left. First left is Charlie, second left. Here we are, guys. Let me show you what I did wrong. We're on Lima, should be on Quebec. Bravo's our second left. So here at Father Timeville, we're not going to redo it. Nobody's perfect. They would have said, where are you going? JetBlue. All right, we'd be briefing the departure. I'll wait till I'm on Bravo to do it. That says Bravo. And we're going to go all the way to the end for 10 left. JP would be yelling at us by now. I don't think JP yells. All right, let's make sure we're going all the way to the end. Yeah, all the way to the end. I'm looking at the chart. I gotta turn this off. Bravo to the end. Bravo 1. Okay, let's go in here. I'm gonna do the before takeoff checklist. The way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna click the key. After start's done, right? Did that. We already did the after start. Taxi procedures, get all those done. That turns out takeoff configuration test.
JetBlue 1393 over to the tower now. Frequency is 119.3.
19.3 for JetBlue 1393. All right, guys, and then one more checklist to do. And that's going to be the lineup flow. Tower JetBlue 1393. Taxiing for 10 left. Flight attendants prepare for takeoff.
JetBlue 1393 Tower Edo, continue holding point Bravo 10 short of runway 10 left.
JetBlue 1393, hello, and continue holding point Bravo 1, hold short of 10 left. So we did the taxi checklist. We'll check it all out up here. I'm going to put continuous relight on. Lineup flow, they're going to turn on the landing lights for us. We'll have to chime, right? We can actually, I would get them, strobe is on. I would actually warn them now because they're going to keep us rolling, I think. Let's let them know it's imminent. Final is clear. Hold it short, Bravo 1. Bravo 1. And holding short. Parking brakes set. (19.3) is tower. Departure is going to be 28.6. All right, so
JetBlue 1393, runway 10 left, line up and wait.
line up and wait. 10 left for JetBlue 1393. All right, line up and wait. Line up checklist, line up flow, landing lights on. You can hear them going on. Ignition will go to continuous. Landing lights extended. Here we go. And final is clear. Line up and wait. Flight attendants should chime. And there we go. Parking brakes off. Line up and wait. 40% will go Toga, which is here. We'll be looking for 97.9 on the N1s. At 400 feet, we'll go nav, which is pretty much straight ahead, but we'll make sure it's a nav before we do it. I've had problems on this particular
JetBlue
minibus.
1393, wind 2806 knots, runway 10 left, you are clear for takeoff.
Go for takeoff 10 left for JetBlue 1393. Go for takeoff 10 left. Final is clear. Looks like 10 left to me. Wait for 40%. Toga. Looking for about 98, 97.9. Nose, they didn't come up really evenly, did they? I put nose down pressure in this IniBuild. Otherwise, I do find it's real hard to control with the rudders unless you have a lot of pressure on your nose gear. 80 knots thrust blue. Don't over control, Captain Marvel. V1 and rotate. Positive rate on the altitude indicator, not the VSI. Gear up. I got a lot to do, so I'm going to go autopilot on. Is nav, but we'll go level change. 800 feet, we can start cleaning up, flaps up. Slats retracting. And here, will it go direct? I don't see, Marley is in green. Let's try nav, see if it goes straight ahead. Yes, I just was checked Marley in green. I've been having problems with this thing not doing that. So let's do the after takeoff check as we are clean. After takeoff.
JetBlue 1393, contact departure. See you.
Go departure, JetBlue 1393, see you later. All right, so there is 3 for 4. Departure, JetBlue 1393 is out of 3 for 4,000.
JetBlue 1393, Miami Control, lay low, yard identified. Continue climb 6,000 feet.
Continue 6,000 for JetBlue 1393. There we go. Power is coming up to climb, and we should be in climb power. All right, so we got level change, nav in it, and we're going to climb in 4 for 6, 18,000 transition altitude. And let's go to the EFB, checklist, after takeoff, for takeoff.
JetBlue 1393, climb 8,000 feet and traffic information. 12 o'clock to 747, 1,000 feet above your cleared altitude.
I maintain 8,000 feet for JetBlue 1393, negative contact. All right, so we don't want to scare this guy, so let's go vertical speed, and we're going to decrease the rate to about 1,000 feet per minute. Otherwise, the TCAS will go off, and that was in the lesson plan. You'll definitely maybe get a resolution advisory, even though he's at 9,000. You might get, is that him out there? Nope, it's a little mark on my windscreen. We tend to slow our climb so we don't alarm the guy. Otherwise, you do get a traffic advisory. And there's a 748. NF takeoff, the gear handle is centered. Flaps are up, gears up, spoilers disarmed. I think it's disarmed, let me see. Should have been. And auto brakes are off. After flow didn't work that good, so there's 1,000 feet per minute. Oh, there he is. Look at that, guys. JP, nice job, buddy. Otherwise, we probably would have got a traffic advisory. So that was cheating using the lesson plan. That's a 7.4. Traffic in sight for JetBlue 1393. They don't care. Very cool. Very cool. All right. I'm not going to start the checklist, but we probably need to get like our EFBs ready for getting there. It's going to come fast and furious here. Approach. And the RNAV should be in here, all right? Let me see. Yeah, RNAV departure. Nope, RNAV arrival.
JetBlue 1393, climb 15,000 feet.
JetBlue 1393, climb to 15,000. We can go profile now, guys. And auto, there goes the climb power. So that's what I wanted. That's what I got. Profile, nav, looking good. Yeah, that weather, I didn't see any rain showers. Supposed to be rain showers here. And on that lesson plan, they did advise us that it's hit or miss, right? It can be clear. It can be not so clear as we come through. And I'm going to go back here into the RNAV approach, Nassau approach, RNAV 32. So we can either go Hindu or fly overhead and get vectors. What would be more fun? I think the vectors would be more fun, but I'm going to start getting some of this ready while they're not talking to us. 328, 314. Out of 10, by the way. Lights are off. Beacon strobes were on. In auto, they would have gone on. Out of 10. And we chime them. I make a little PA. Get the seatbelt sign off for them for a little while. Tell them we're going to be landing in 25 minutes. So I'll be turning it back on in about 5 minutes, just in case they have a need to jump out of the seats right now. Okay, back to the thing. 314 and 328. So 328 on the orange bug. And 314 on the DH. This airplane, we're saying we're RNAV certified. I don't know. We'll see how it does. I did do a couple of videos, 314, that's as good as we're going to get there. Check a couple of videos out on how to do better with this, and I'll tell you what I was doing wrong. Takeoff approach, you put in the NDA here, 328, and then somewhere on final, when you go direct finals, 3 degrees, you got to activate that.
JetBlue 1393, climb 17,000 feet, local altimeter 29054.
Climb to 17,000 feet, 2954 for JetBlue 1393. 2954, 2954, 2954, and 7,000 feet, and that is our final cruising altitude. Yeah, it wasn't putting the MDA in on the approach page for the RNAVs. My profile, when I was doing the mountainous terrain arrival yesterday for my video, I basically did it in nav and then level change and vertical speed following the profile. So the profile knew where it was, but it wasn't following it. I could not get it to stay in profile descent without slowing down to 120 knots, 40 miles out. So the key is to be in speed mode when you go to profile, and I was just the opposite. I was in profile with the speed blank, so we'll try that today, see if that works. So before I go profile, have that speed window open, and then make sure you put the MDA in here, and it's for final of 3 degrees when we go on the final approach. So we'll see how that works. 16 for 17. Now the checklist on here, IniBuilds, I wish it was a little better. I like this thing. For once, this 10,000 foot procedure, landing lights, seatbelt sign, all that stuff, top of climb, ECAM check, thrust limit check, flight progress, all that stuff. Pretty cool. Descent prep. It's a very complete checklist here. And what I like about these, of course, is that when you click it, it goes to where you're supposed to go. When you're new on an airplane, it's fantastic. One of the few, on the IniBuilds, one of the few products, whether it's an add-on or comes with Microsoft on the Premier Edition, whatever you have, it's that has a complete checklist like that works. I'm just really impressed with it. For the streams, I don't use it because when I do videos, it's just a lot of clicking around, but it sure does work. Works great if you want to use it. All right, we're at cruise. We should have cruise EPR. We have it in auto, and sure enough, it went to cruise. It went to cruise because we have in 17,000. Go back to a net. 17,000 is our level. If he said that's your final, we're scheduled to be at 19, we'd put in 17 there if this was going to be our final, but it was already in there. All right, so let's brief our approach. This is going to be the RNAV GNS runway 32. We're authorized to do it by our training. It's going to be Cuddly at 2, Dilby at 16. Cuddly at 2, Dilby at 16, and we check the glide path. Should be 3 degrees on here. I don't know if it has that on there. Cuddly at 2. Doesn't show what the glide path is.
JetBlue 1393, contact Nassau, frequency 124.2.
24.2 for JetBlue 1393. Give it 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Change. There it is. How's that? Love this thing. Thank you, JP. And this is 4.2. This is Nassau Control. Nassau Control, JetBlue 1393 at 17,000.
JetBlue 1393 Nassau, hello. Route craft Rajay, then direct to Nassau VOR. Runway news 32.
Okay, craft Rajay, then direct to Nassau VOR and runway 32 for JetBlue 1393. All right, guys, that's a little different, right? So we're going to go flight plan. Let's go here where you can see it. Craft Rajay, Nassau, after Rajay, new waypoint ZQA, Nassau, craft Rajay Nassau, craft Rajay Nassau, and hit go. Let's go previous page. Hit go at 45. Let's double check that. Cuddly. Yeah, they didn't have, they had Hindo in there, but that's not what we're doing. So I guess it's going to be radar vectors. Craft Nassau, so we can take out Hindu for now. And it must be radar vectors since we don't have an approach over Nassau, right? There is no approach. All right, so back to this approach. So here we go. It's 12-3, 19 August 2022. Here we are, way out here, guys. Craft Heyday, Rajay, Heater, that's the piled, but we're fine, Rajay. And if you want to ever check that again, you hit your F2 key to say again.
JetBlue 1393 Nassau, hello. Route Craft Rajay, then direct to Nassau VOR. The runway news 32.
And we already answered that, so we'll do it again. Craft Rajay, Nassau 32. That I just was showing you that. I wouldn't have to answer them. I was just actually, if I said say again, I guess I would, right? All right, can we ever get this approach brief, Captain Marvel? Let's try it. All right, so RNAV GNS runway 32. We've got Cuddly at 2, Doopy at 1600. We're going down on a 3-degree glide path here. The box should said 3. We have 3 degrees in the box. Our routing, we're going to cover Nassau radar vectors around to intercept. We're looking, it's going to be somewhere around 700 feet per minute on the descent. We've got a DH set of 328, 314, 314, 328 in the MDA, and approach speed for flaps 30, 40 is 129, so 130. If we have to go around due to weather, climbing right turn to 2000 direct to Zunton and hold. It'll be a parallel entry at Zunton like this, and then come back in, and after that right hand turns. So it'll be big turn, Zunton, parallel entry, and come back in. We'll see what the weather is. There are rain showers. I need to go and get the ATIS before I keep talking here. Thought it was 23:45, guys. 23:45. It should start talking shortly. We can also get, well, we can't get the ATIS off Navigraph because it's not realistic. That's Nassau, but that's just a current. We're, of course, operating under the FSiPanel. All right, how far out are we? And it'll be good to, a good technique is to take the FAF flight plan, Nassau.
JetBlue 1393, descend 12,000 feet, altimeter 2953, and contact approach 121.0.
JetBlue 1393, descend to 12,000 and 2953, 121.0. All right, so 12,000 set, 2953 now.
This is Pendling International Airport information, Mike. Runway in use 32. Surface wind 280 degrees at 10 knots. Visibility 8. Cloud scattered 3,000 feet. Scattered 7,000 feet. Temperature 28. Dew point 18. 2953. Showers in the vicinity. Acknowledge received Pendling International Airport information, Mike, on first contact.
All right, so this is first contact, and approach Mike, information Mike. Nassau approach, JetBlue 1393, information Mike, descending to 12,000.
JetBlue 1393, approach, hello, identified, descend 8,000 feet and proceeded direct to Nassau EOR.
Direct to Nassau, 8,000 feet, hello, for JetBlue 1393. All right, so we go to the box, we go direct, we go Nassau, we go insert, and we say, how does that look? There we go. All right, here we go. Going down to 8,000. We got to be 250 below 10. If you're more than 12 miles offshore, you are allowed to keep your
JetBlue 1393, your number 1. The wind is 280 at 10 knots. Do you wish straight in ILS 14, or do you want to continue for the RNAV runway 32?
Request ILS to 14 for JetBlue 1393. Affirm. How do you do that, guys?
Roger, proceed direct Mooney and descend 4,000 feet, no delay.
Direct to Mooney, down to 4,000, no delay for JetBlue 1393. All right, guys, here we go. Level change, speed brakes out. We're going to go in here. Probably got myself a little behind the power curve here. Slowing down. Runway, ILS 14. And I don't know if there's a Mooney on here. Nope, so insert. Stars, none. Let's go here. ILS. All right, so this isn't working. We need to make sure we're doing a good job here. Out of 10, we're 250 below 10. Looks good. Coming down nicely. Direct to Mooney. All right, so we need to go back to the box. Approach. Let's go all the way down here. ILS 14. Star none. Insert. Direct to Mooney. It wasn't easy, was it, guys? Here we go. I got ourselves a little bit, but with the rain showers in the area, guys, my thinking there, I'm descending on, hustling on down. And Mooney, we got to be there. Let's see what it is. Let's go here. I would rather get down. It's 232 and 212. 232. And then 212. Flight attendants prepare for landing. Here we go. And we got to get the ILS set up. It is 110.1, 143. $110.1. $143. That one caught me by surprise. Got to admit. I'm going to bring the speed brake up. Yeah, I put myself a little bit. 110.1, right? 143. I just don't like it with the weather that's moving in and out. This gives us the best chance to land. I can get my frequency set. 110.1, 143, 212, 215. All right, we're briefed, and we hustled on down. Set flight attendants prepared for landing. And descent checks complete. Continue briefing the approach. ILS 14, 111.1, 19 August 22. 110.1, 143 is set. We got Mooney at 2,000, 1,700 for the glide slope intercept. Going down category C, 232 and 217. And that's set. Got the visibility. And then the venomous approach. Climb on heading 143 to 2,000, then left turn direct to Nassau VOR. And if we have to go misapproach off this, we'll probably head back to Miami area, or I would guess not Freeport. We got enough to do one and come back. There's 4,000. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. That was cool. So I clicked on the vectors. That's the first time I've had to do that. I didn't even know how you did that. That was pretty intuitive. You got to click on the one. Nice job, JP. And the bugs, takeoff approach, and it's decision height, 232. Let's see here. 232, 217, 232, 217 up here. All right, looks good. Just slowing it down a little bit, guys. And going to the box. Mooney at 2. Final punch fix 1700. Bring it on in. Oh, after landing. After landing. We didn't check that out, did we? After landing. Airport. Runway 14. After landing, got plenty of runway. So we'll go spoilers arm. We can do that now. And brakes medium. Actually, we'll go low. Plenty of runway. And 29053 is the altimeter. And left-hand turn off. And we're right in here, if you remember our briefing. Hey, let's do our thing, right? Done. Can I mark this up? I'm trying to look for my little enter text route now. I was trying to look for the little symbol to do this on. But left-hand turn, probably a Delta, maybe a down at Bravo. Not going to heat up the brakes. Coming in apron 2 all the way down there. I wonder if GSX you can set the arrival gate.
JetBlue 1393 descend 2,000 feet and you are clear ILS runway 14.
JetBlue 1393 descended 2,000, cleared the ILS 14. All right, 2,000, slots extend. And I'm going to start slowing it on down, guys. You can see that there's the glide slope coming on board. So I'm going to need a little help when I do it, right? It's my slat speed. And I don't need to get that slow. And it's armed land. Going down to 2. So localizer's arm. We'll level at 2, which is right about Mooney. It's coming down nicely. 180 is set. Runway in sight. And we talked about a left-hand turn off. We'll bring it all the way down to Bravo. Let's let it roll out. Taxi all the way up here. Apron 2. Gate, what do they say? Stand C45. Let's get the gear down. Got glide slope capture, low capture. It's the only problem with changing to 1.4 is what? I had to kind of hustle on down. As long as my situational awareness allowed me to do that. We were set up for RNAV 3.2. Could have done that. Real cool. That's brand new. The down 3 greens. We go flaps 15-20. Keep the speed coming back. And 30-40. 4 landing checklist, please. Make sure the flaps are all the way out. Once they are, let's click our 4 landing checklist flow.
JetBlue 1393 over to the tower. Frequency is 119.5. Have a safe landing.
19.5. Have a great day. Thanks for your help for JetBlue 1393. Hang on a second, guys. Let me do this. This. After takeoff, line up float up. None of those are applicable. Nassau Tower, JetBlue 1393 is 6 miles out for ILS 14.
JetBlue 1393 Tower, hello. Wind 280 at 11 knots, runway 14, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 14 for JetBlue 1393. All right, guys, so 28014, so we get a 8-knot tailwind, 9-knot tailwind. Max tailwind we can take is 15, so we're good to go. Should have probably checked the winds because the ATIS said 280 at 8, and it's picked up a little bit, so we don't want to float it. I've gone medium on the brakes. Make sure the spoilers are armed. Spoilers are medium brakes, flaps slats, forward landing checklist is complete. Clear to land. All right, that's enough of that nonsense. Let's do some of this pilot stuff. Autopilot's off. What is this thing out here? Let's not hit that. Let's try to get a good landing. Yeah, you can get your landing grade from this app too.
400. 300.
What is that? Don't want to land long with the tailwind.
200.
That's simism there. What the hell is that?
50, 40, 30, 20,
Put it down with the tailwind.
10, 5.
A little long, not great. So coming in reverse, easy on the brakes. Let it roll out. 80 degrees out there, so good chance you can overheat the brakes. Below 80, come out of reverse. Okay. Left-hand turn off.
JetBlue 1393, taxi left on hotel, then contact ground. 121.7, bye-bye.
Left on hotel, ground 21.7 for JetBlue 1393. Guys, I'm going to take the runway, but naturally we would get permission to use this runway for the taxi. Hotels over there. All right, then I'm going to go flaps up. We're going to do spoilers, right? We can actually... You hear everything going? After landing, arrival flows. And ground, JetBlue 1393 is on the ground, turning left on hotel for gate Charlie 45.
JetBlue 1393 ground, hello, taxi, stand, Charlie 45, Charlie 45, via Hotel 2.
Taxi to Charlie 45. Taxi Charlie 45 via Hotel 2 for JetBlue 1393. All right, that's good, that's all done. Get the throttle up here so we don't stall out. Let's go outside. See the gears up, flaps up, and we'll check all the lights after landing checks complete. Hotel 2. It's way down there, so we got a ways to go, guys. Is it stuck in reverse? Yeah, it's stuck in reverse. That's a simism, guys. See if I can get it out of reverse here. Nope, it's going backwards, so that's not good. Let's not do that. It's always something, isn't it? So let's go outside. See if we can get this thing. Go back inside. Let me try something here.
Hey guys, JP, welcome to the Bahamas, to Nassau. Short flight operated today by JetBlue. 35 minutes. Did you choose the ILS? If you did, I hope you had a nice descent rate and you were able to make it safely. And if you choose the RNAV approach, then you have more track miles, easier for planning and no rebriefing. So this is as well a trap that you can get on this kind of flight. No traffic, and ATC wants to help you, and in fact they might put you in trouble. So that's why I choose this kind of scenario for you today. As always, your feedback in the Discord channel or in the forum, and I see you very soon for another training scenario. Bye bye.
Okay, so that's really interesting. Very nice. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So JP was setting us up there. That's one of the many advantages for of this FSI panel. Very cool. I chose the ILS 14. I knew it was going to put me behind, so I got idle speed brakes coming down. So yeah, you can definitely put yourself, and then the winds were not a 6-knot tailwind. They were more like a 10-knot tailwind, which, you know, increased your landing roll. But we got it all done. We got it all done. My thinking was, and you know what it was, and I briefed it, I didn't trust the weather. We didn't have a lot of gas to play around in Nassau, and I would rather do an ILS and get us down to 210 feet than do the RNAV and get us down lower, so leave us up higher. So that's why I chose to accept it. But JP's absolutely right, and it happens all the time. They're trying to help you. I got the brake fans on, by the way, and you actually get yourself in trouble by getting behind the curve there. Hotel 2. Yeah, I wonder if GSX, if I can do that here. GSX parking. Sidwell parking. Ramp. Sobo 128. Gate 10. Next page. Previous page. I don't see yeah, I don't see gate 10 on there, guys. Try it one more time here. Try once. Next page. Gate 10.
The chosen position is too small for your aircraft.
All right, there it is. That's gate 10. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so we get the brake fans on, flaps are on, speed brakes up, everything's done. APU should be started, and it is. All right, lights are all out. Good. Yeah, so had I gotten in the go-around situation there, would I have had enough gas? Not really. So this wasn't a whole lot of gas. I could have probably done another approach. Definitely done one more approach. But anyway, that was really cool. Great lesson. We did a good job though. We handled it well. Let me see here. Parking gates. Charlie 46 is right off the end there. Right there. Right there. I'm looking here. So I'm happy with my performance on that one. Only thing, what did I do wrong? One major thing, I taxied out on Lima instead of, what was it, Quebec or something, at Fort Lauderdale. All right, so Charlie 46. Right over here. These guys are way over there. Probably 45 rather. Charlie 45. All right, so here we go. Moving in. Not going to get any help today. All right, brakes are parked. Go to the overhead. Seatbelt sign is off. APU is established. We can chop them and do the checklist. Let's do the shutdown checklist so we can get the gate moving, because the beacons have to come off, right? After landing is done, we already did that. Shutdown. And with that, make sure the beacons are off so they'll move the jet bridge that's off. Okay, and seatbelt sign is off. We're all good. Let's get them deplaning. That was fun.
This parking is too small for your aircraft. The boarding requested.
There we go. The agent. All right, let's get out. Take a look around. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. I sure did. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, JP. Thank you, FSiPanel. Really, really is cool. Really adds to a stream. But a content creation. Open forward cargo, they'll do all that. There we are, JetBlue 1393 charter flight by IniBuilds. All right, guys, welcome to Nassau in the Bahamas.
Passengers, the boarding started.
All right, it's Father Time. Saying goodbye from Nassau. Don't forget to subscribe, please. That would really help me. And like it. If you like the video, that makes me feel good. Hey, look at that. Look at that cool. Was that a tornado or something? And comment positive, negative, anything you can help me with, any equipment that I should have to improve my stream, that'll be really great. All right, Father Time's out. Thanks a lot. Take it easy.